this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, this whole last few months has been a whirlwind, for myself and my family, and just feel great with the opportunity to be able to, settle in here with Boise. Awesome opportunity that Coach Harsin gave me here. But yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks, few months with a few different moves and some decisions to make with my family, and I just again feel fortunate to have had some real good head coaches. Coach Baldwin was a great mentor for me at Eastern Washington. He recruited me out of high school and taught me a lot about quarterback play. And, obviously, I wouldn't be standing here today without the help of him and his support. And he's happy for me, and we stay in contact daily. So it's been good.
Did you ever actually move your family over to Hawaii? Or?
We didn't. So I went over to Hawaii for about a month and a half. As well as some recruiting things over there too, but never ended up truly moving the family over. So the plan was going to be to have them kind of stay until July. My wife's due with a boy in May, so we're excited about that. So that's another life thing that's going on, and getting crazy time for my wife too. But yeah, so we didn't end up moving over there, and now we're making plans to find a place here.
Is she going to stay there till July still, or closer?
No,
Is she going to move soon?
No, yes, they're going to move over here hopefully within the end of the month. So we're looking for places right now and looking at the different areas. Feel again real fortunate. Love Boise. She's got some family down here, so we've had a chance to be here. Some different stints. But yeah, great town, beautiful place, and again feel very fortunate to be here.
It sounded like Coach Harsin initiated contact. I guess, how did that work? And I mean, were you surprised? What were you doing in the moment when this all started to take place?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't thinking about interviews. I wasn't thinking about looking at other places. I got the OC job at Hawaii, and it was really just going forward and moving forward with that. I already had a few meetings with the kids. Coach Rolovich was an awesome guy to work for, and I was excited for that opportunity. So yeah, this kind of came out of the blue. Didn't have any interview materials ready, or anything ready to go. My connection was Coach Adams, and I, our wide receiver coach here, worked together at Eastern Washington for a number of years, so we had a good relationship. And then he kind of notified me that at least my name was getting thrown around. And then, Brad and then Coach Harsin ended up contacting me, a week or so later, and we had a few conversations on the phone, and then turned into an interview and an offer. So it happened quickly, and it was a no-brainer for us to move the family down here and take this opportunity.
You mentioned that being the OC over there, you're the co-OC here. I mean, you would have probably been the play caller over there, and now you're not here. What was kind of appealing from that standpoint? The fact that you maybe it went down a little bit, I guess, in terms of the authority you'd have, that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I thought it was intriguing to be able to learn a new offense. I've been in that Eastern Washington offense for a long time, and that would have been a blast to be able to run that at Hawaii and throw it around and develop our guys through that offense. But I thought learning a new offense, a new system, a new way of doing things, for myself and my coaching career in the long term would have been was a great option. And then also just the staff that's here too, and taking nothing away from why I love Coach Rolovich and their staff. They got a wonderful staff there. It's a great place to be. But being a national powerhouse here and just the tradition that's gone along with Boise State football and where they're at right now, and again the history of quarterbacks here, and have some relationship with Kellen Moore and the Moore family, and some other guys here. So it just felt like it was a good fit. It was closer to family, and at the end of the day, that's really where the decision took me. It was, closer to my folks, closer to my wife's, extended family, and just being in the Pacific Northwest was the best decision.
You've been in Eastern for so long. What made you this year be the year that you decided to try something new?
I don't know if it was as much my decision as anything, but it was just a year that some opportunities, surfaced, and was able to make some decisions. We've been fortunate at Eastern Washington to have some really good years and win a national championship and be close in that semifinal hunt, a number of years, and so it just happened to be a year where I had some opportunities.
How do you see this whole thing with Hart's calling the plays and a couple of co-OCs and a passing game coordinator? How do you see this whole thing kind of working out and working together?
I think it'll be a blast. Coach Harsin is obviously a very, very sharp guy who has done it, had a ton of success with it. So I think we're in great hands with him calling plays. Coach Adams and I have been in a similar situation at Eastern Washington with Coach Baldwin. So we've worked in this same type of role together, but it's going to be a collaborative effort. When it comes down to game day and game week planning, it's everybody. It's all the guys on the staff having their part and putting together a game plan, and then whoever ends up calling it. Obviously it's Coach Harsin calling it, but we all have a big piece in that. So titles are titles, but again, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to win football games.
You worked 20 miles from where Brett Rippon grew up. Did you know him or recruit him at all, or is there any sort of a previous relationship there?
A little bit. I had a chance to work with Brett in a few camps here and there, when he was in high school, and so we know each other, and have had a little bit of conversation, with that. We never got a chance to really recruit him, at Eastern Washington, because he had some bigger offers. We probably were out of the hunt. But yeah, Brett's a great kid. I'm excited, for this opportunity to get over here and be with the quarterbacks, whether it's Brett or Finley or Anthony or Tommy or any of those guys. And really right now it's just building our relationship, building the trust so that they can trust me as a coach, and them building trust in a daily manner, whether it's academics or whether it's in the weight room or whether it's in our meeting room. It's a two-way street. So we're all just trying to get familiar and get to know each other, and the quicker we're comfortable with each other and can build that relationship, the better we're all going to be.
Your reputation obviously is quarterbacks, developing them. What do you stress as a quarterbacks coach? What are kind of the keys for you, and how have you been able to have so much success with some of the guys you've worked with?
Well, I think it really comes down to confidence, and building confidence through their daily work. Obviously, from a quarterback standpoint, you got to be a smart guy. There's a lot of things that go into it, whether it's signals or film study or just understanding the scheme and the offense that we're in. But a lot rides on that quarterback position. So confidence is a huge thing that we try to instill in our quarterbacks. And then just again the daily work and the structure that's already been put together here, and the team, the climate where everything's at is. This is a great place to learn. It's a great place to be successful, and just looking forward to being a part of that.
The third offensive coordinator in the last 3 years here for Coach Harsin, but yet the production hasn't dropped. Is that a welcome challenge, or is that you have to hit the ground running and haven't had time to really unpack your boxes yet?
I think it's always a challenge, no matter what level you're at or wherever the program's at. It's a great part about football, and you welcome a challenge, welcome adversity, and however you want to look at it, I'm looking at it as a fun new opportunity, and again a great place to be, and I think the history and the tradition here speaks for itself, and happy to be a part of that.